Table of contents. Imprenta. Argument. Personi. Have. Endnotes. Colophon. Landmarks. Endnotes. Sophocles. Colophon was written in 409 BCE by Sophocles. It was translated from ancient Greek in 1913 by Francis. This was transcribed and produced for standard by Emma and is based on digital scans from the Internet Archive. The cover page is adapted from Ulysses, a painting completed in 1827 by Jean. The cover and title pages feature the League Spartan and Sorts Mill typefaces created in 2014 and 2009 by the Leg of Type. This edition was released on February 23, 2026, 8:37 p.m. and is based on revision 1 F82, a 7. The first edition of this was released on May 5, 2025, 3:56 a.m. You can check for updates to this, view its revision history, or download it for different systems at org Sophocles Francis. The volunteer-driven standard project relies on readers like you to submit typos, corrections, and other improvements. Anyone can contribute at .org. Personi. Odysseus. Neoptolemus. Sailor disguised as merchant captain. Heracles. Chorus sailors of Neoptolemus crew. Scene rocky coast on the island of Lemnos. Endnotes. The nymph by whose guardian serpent was bitten. CL 1326. The nymph by whose guardian serpent was bitten. CL 1326. Phynexa. According to the tradition that Ovid followed, met. 13284. Odysseus rescued the body and arms of Achilles from the fray, according to the tradition that Ovid followed, met. 13284. Odysseus rescued the body and arms of Achilles from the fray. Sisyphus, the reputed father of Odysseus, ordered his wife to leave his body unburied, and so obtained leave from Pluto to return to Earth in order to punish her impiety. Sisyphus, the reputed father of Odysseus, ordered his wife to leave his body unburied, and so obtained leave from Pluto to return to Earth in order to punish her impiety. For kindling the funeral pyre of Heracles on Mount. Lemnos was the island on which Hephaestus fell when hurled from heaven. I-593, and on the east coast seems to have been an active volcano in historic times. Lemnos was the island on which Hephaestus fell when hurled from heaven. I-593, and on the east coast seems to have been an active volcano in historic times. The omitted lines are, who judged Odysseus of thy father's arms more worthy than the hapless Ajax. The omitted lines are, who judged Odysseus of thy father's arms more worthy than the hapless Ajax. Odysseus to escape service feigned madness but was detected by, who laid the infant Telemachus in front of the, which he was driving with a yoked ox and ass. Odysseus to escape service feigned madness but was detected by, who laid the infant Telemachus in front of the, which he was driving with a yoked ox and ass. Imprenta. This is the product of many hours of hard work by volunteers for Standard, and builds on the hard work of other literature lovers made possible by the public domain. This particular is based on digital scans from the Internet Archive. The source text and artwork in this are believed to be in the United States public domain. That is, they are believed to be free of copyright restrictions in the United States. They may still be copyrighted in other countries, so users located outside of the United States must check their local laws before using this. The creators of and contributors to this dedicate their contributions to the worldwide public domain via the terms in the CC01 Universal Public Domain Dedication. For full license information, see the at the end of this. Standard is a volunteer-driven project that produces editions of public domain literature using modern typography, technology, and editorial standards, and distributes them free of cost. You can download this and other carefully produced for true book lovers at .org. Argument. 9 years before the play begins, afflicted by a noisome wound, had been landed by the Greek chiefs on the desert island of Lemnos. He bore with him the famous bow and arrows of Heracles, and without these, as a seer afterwards declared to them, Troy could not be taken. So Odysseus was commissioned to bring back by force or fraud the hero and his arms, and he took with him, to aid him in his purpose, the son of Achilles' dearest friend. When the play begins, Odysseus has landed and is instructing Neoptolemus in his part. He is to find and reveal who he is, but pretend that he has come to take him back not to Troy but home to Greece. Neoptolemus at first indignantly declines the task and is hardly persuaded to play the traitor. He meets coming forth from his cave, makes himself known, and to gain his confidence, relates fictitious wrongs that he, too, has suffered at the hands of the Greeks. He consents to take home, but as they are starting for the ship, a merchant captain appears, a sailor disguised by Odysseus, who tells them that the Greek captains have sent in pursuit of both. They hasten their departure, but first visit the cave that may fetch away the simples he needs to dress his wound. As he is leaving, the cave is seized with a paroxysm of pain. Knowing that after such attacks deep slumber is wont to follow, he entrusts his bow and arrows to Neoptolemus, who swears to keep them safe and restore them to their owner. On awakening, he demands his bow, but Neoptolemus refuses to give it back and confesses the plot that now suspects. Stung by the denouncement of his treachery and the pathetic appeal to his better nature, Neoptolemus repents him and is in the act of restoring the bow when Odysseus, who has been watching the scene in hiding, appears to prevent him. The bow Odysseus will have may go or stay as he chooses. The pair depart together for the ships and is left behind with the chorus of sailors who to persuade him to return with them. But he is obdurate and they are about to leave him when Neoptolemus is seen hurrying back with the bow, closely followed by Odysseus, who tries in vain to arrest him and threatens to denounce him as a traitor to the host. Regains his bow and would have used it to let fly a mortal shaft at Odysseus, had not Neoptolemus stayed his hand. Again he is urged to go back to Troy, and again he refuses. Neoptolemus, true to his word, reluctantly agrees to convey him home. At this point an apparition is seen in the air above them, the divine form of Heracles, sent by Zeus from Olympus to bid go back to Troy with Neoptolemus and so the oracle. At last he bows to the will of heaven. Son of Achilles, Neoptolemus sprung from the noblest of the Grecian host. This is the beach of Lemnos, sea-girt isle, a land untrod, untenanted, where once, as bidden by the chiefs, I put ashore the Malian, son of, grievously afflicted by his foot's envenomed wound. For us there was no peace at sacrifice or at libations, but the whole camp rang with his discordant screams and savage yells, moaning and groaning. But what skills it now to tell this tale? No time for large discourse that might betray our presence and undo the plot I've laid to catch him presently. To work. It rests with thee to play thy part, and help me to discover hereabouts a cave with double mouth by nature made to catch on either side the winter sun, or by the breeze that through the archway blows invite in summer's heat to gentle sleep, and lower down, a little to the left, a spring, if still it flows, thou art like to find. Go warily to work and bring me word, whether he still is there or further gone. That done, thy part will be to listen, mine to instruct, that both may gain our common end. No distant quest, my lord Odysseus, this, here if I err not, is the cave thou seek'st. Above me or below? I see it not. Up there, but not a footfall can I hear. Look if he be not gone within to rest. The chamber's empty, no man is within, and no provision for a man's abode. Litter of trodden leaves as for a couch. And is that all? No other sign of life? A cup of uncouth handiwork, rough hewn from out a log, some tinder too I see. These are his household treasures. Fallen, and here spread in the sun to dry, are filthy rags dank with the ooze of some malignant sore. This clearly is his dwelling place, and he hard by, for how could any travel far thus maimed and hobbled by an ancient wound? Either in quest of food, or else to find some simples known to him as anodynes, he's gone abroad, and shortly will return, so post thy henchman there to watch the path, lest he surprise me. I of all the Greeks am the one foe he leafest here would catch. Guard shall be kept, my man is on his way, and now if thou hast more to say, say on. Exit attendant. Son of Achilles, not in thews alone or prowess must thou prove thy breed today. If tasks be set thee that seem strange, no less thou must perform them, therefore wast thou sent. What is thy hest? Thou must cajole and cheat the soul of by fair words, and when he asks thee who and whence thou art, Achilles' son, make answer, hide not this. But add, I am sailing homewards and have left the fleet in dudgeon, wroth against the chiefs who first prevailed on me to quit my home, because without me Troy could ne'er be taken, and then upon my coming basely spurned my righteous title to Achilles' arms and gave them to Odysseus. At my name heap on me every scoff and scorn and taunt. It will not hurt me, but if thou shouldst fail, 'twill sorely vex the Argives one and all. This man's artillery we needs must have, no hope to capture Troy town otherwise. Why thou canst hold free converse with the man securely, and I cannot, thou shalt learn. Thou wast not bound by oath or pledge to sail, nor wast thou with the fleet that first embarked, but not of this, if taxed, can I deny. Therefore, if bow in hand he counters me, I die, and shall involve thee in my deaths. How to possess us of those matchless arms, there is the puzzle, set thy wits to that. I know, my son, thy honest nature shrinks from glozing words and practice of deceit, but for 'tis sweet to snatch a victory, be bold today and honest afterwards. For one brief hour of lying follow me, all time to come shall prove thy probity. Son of, what upon my ear grates in the telling, I should hate to do. Such is my nature, any taint of guile I loathe, and such, they tell me, was my sire. But I am ready, not by fraud, but force to bring the man, for crippled in one foot, against our numbers he can prove no match. Since I was sent to aid thee, prince, I fear to seem a laggard, yet prefer to fail with than succeed by fraud. Son of a gallant sire, I too in youth was slow of tongue and forward with my hand, but I have learnt by trial of mankind mightier than deeds of puissance is the tongue. It comes to this, that thou wouldst have me lie. Entangle by deceit. Why not persuade him rather than deceive? Persuasion's vain, and force of no avail. What arms hath he of such miraculous might? Unerring arrows with instant death. Might not a bold man come to grips with him? No, as I told thee, guile alone avails. Thou deem'st it then no shame to tell a lie. Not if success depends upon a lie. With what face shall one dare to speak such words? If thou wouldst profit, thou must have no qualms. What gain to me should he be brought to Troy? Without these arms Troy town cannot be sacked. Ye told me I should take it. Was that false? Not thou apart from these, nor these from thee. The quarry's worth the chase, if this be so. Know that success a double meed shall win. Make plain this twofold prize, and I'll essay. Thou wilt be hailed as wise no less than brave. I'll do it, here's my hand, and risk the shame. Good. My instructions thou them. I have consented, trust me for the rest. Stay here then and await his coming, whilst lest I should be espied, I go away and send back to the ship our sentinel. But if he seem to dally overmuch, he shall return the same man, but disguised past recognition as a sailor clad. When he accosts thee, mark each word, my son, to catch the hid significance, for he will speak in riddles. This I leave to thee, and seek the vessel. Hermes aid us both, who sent us on our way, the god of cunning, and she who never failed me yet, my queen, queen of victory. Exit Odysseus. Strophe 1. What, O my master, what must I conceal, and what reveal, in a strange land a stranger, by what wile his shrewd suspects beguile? Instruct me, for his art all art excels, with whom there dwells the sovereignty of Zeus, the kingly crown that hath to thee come down. My son, by immemorial right divine, such skill is thine, so teach me, master, how I best may speed thy present need. First to find his lair, no doubt ye are keen, so boldly scout. When the wild man ye have spied, who within this cave doth bide, watch the motions of my hand, prompt to act as I command. Antistrophe 1. Now as at all times, prince, I gladly heed, and serve thy need. But first to learn his common haunts, well, I pray thee tell, lest he should light upon me unaware, his track, his lair. Say if within his den he will be found, or roaming round. See you that two-mouthed cavern? There his rocky dwelling place. And where is the sad inmate of the grot? I doubt not somewhere near the spot, gone forth in search of daily food, dragging his steps through wold or wood, for so, 'tis said, by toilsome pains a painful sustenance he gains, shooting whatever living thing comes within reach of his dread bow. The years go by, and never bring a leech to heal his woe. Strophe 2. Oh, how piteous thy lot, luckless man, by man forgot, none thy solitude to share, none to tend with loving care, plagued and stricken by disease, never knowing hour of ease, facing death each moment, how hast, poor wretch, endured till now. Oh, the crooked ways of heaven! Hapless men to whom are given lots so changeful, so uneven. Antistrophe 2. He who with the best might vie of our Grecian chivalry, on a desert island left, perishes of all bereft, with the savage beasts doth dwell, of spotted hide or shaggy fell, pangs of hunger doth endure, racked with aches that know no cure. Echo, too, with babbling tongue, as she sits her hills among, iterates in undertones his interminable groans. Nothing strange I see in this by heaven ordained, if not amiss I augur, comes this punishment by the unpitying one sent, and what he suffers now must be designed by some wise deity, lest too soon gainst Troy should go the arrows of his wizard bow, for when the fated hour has come by them must Troy town find its doom. Strophe 3. Hush, my son. Wherefore? Back, hist now. There comes a sound as of one sore afflicted. Is it here or here? 'Tis nearer now, I look around, the footfall of a tread grows clear, and now, though distant still, I catch a cry distinct, the voice of human agony. Antistrophe 3. Bethink thee, prince. Of what? Some fresh device, for now the man approaches very near. This is no shepherd swain who homeward hies, no melody of pastoral pipe I hear, but as he stumbles mid the jagged stones, he rends the air with far resounding groans, or as he eyes the sea without a sail, he utters here his voice. A hideous wail. Sirs, who are ye and whence, who have landed here upon this harborless and desolate shore? What and of what race? If I might make conjecture by your garb and mien, ye are Greeks, a sight most welcome to my eyes, but I would hear your voices. Shrink not back in horror at my savage aspect, speak pity a lonely, friendless, stricken man thus stranded. If indeed as friends ye come, make answer, I entreat ye, fair reply I may expect from you as you from me. Well, I will answer first thy question, sir. Thou hast conjectured rightly, we are Greeks. O welcome utterance! Ah, how good to hear those accents, long unheard from one like thee. What quest, my son, what venture brought thee here, what breeze compelled thy canvas? Happy breeze! Speak, tell me all, that I may know my friend. My home's the wave-lapped, and I sail homewards. My name is Neoptolemus, my sire Achilles. Now thou, alls, son of a sire most dear, and land most dear, old foster child, what quest has brought thee hither, from what port didst sail? Hither I sailed direct from Ilium. From Ilium? Surely thou wast not on board, when first our expedition sailed for Troy. What, wert thou partner in that enterprise? Dost thou not know with whom thou speak'st, my son? How should I know a man ne'er seen before? Know'st thou not e'en my name? Hast never heard how I was wasting inch by inch away? Of alls thou, I nothing know. Oh, what a heaven-forsaken wretch am I, of whose disastrous plight no yet hath reached my home or any Grecian land. But they, the godless knaves who cast me forth, laugh and are mute. My malady the while rankles, and daily grows from bad to worse. O boy, O son sprung from Achilles' loins, I am that man, of whom thou mayst have heard, heritor of the bow of Heracles, the son of whom thee and the prince cast forth thus shamelessly, a derelict, plague-stricken, wasting slowly, marked for death by a man-slaying serpent's venomous fangs. Thus plagued, my son, they left me here, what time their fleet from sea-girt touched this shore. Tired with long tossing, I had fallen asleep beneath a rock upon the beach. They laughed to see me witless, laughed and sailed away, flinging me, as they went, some cast-off rags, a beggar's alms, and scraps of food. God grant that they may some day come to fare like me. Picture, my son, when I awoke and found all gone, what waking then was mine, what tears, what lamentations, when I saw the ships in which I sailed all vanished, not a soul to share my solitude or tend my wound. Always I gazed, and nothing found but pain, pain, and of pain, God wot, my son. So passed the crawling hours, day upon day, year after year. I shifted for myself beneath this homeless, solitary roof. To sate my hunger with this bow, I shot the doves, and ever when my bolt sped from the taut string to the mark, I crawled thither, my lamed foot trailing painfully. And if of water I had need, or when in winter time the ground was hoar with frost, and firewood must be fetched, forth would I creep to compass this. I had no fire, but from the hard rock striking flint on flint, brought forth the hidden spark that keeps me alive. For look ye, a bare roof and fire withal serve all my needs, save healing of my sore. Now let me tell thee of this isle, my son. No mariner sails hither of his will, for anchorage is none, nor mart whereat he may find lodging and exchange his wares for profit. Prudent men sail not this way. Yet a stray visitor, such accidents must happen in long years, puts in perforce. From such, my son, when they do come, I get kind words of pity and perchance an alms of food or raiment, but at the first hint of passage home, they one and all refuse. So here for 10 long years I linger on, consumed with hunger, dying inch by inch, only the worm that gnaws me not. To thee and Odysseus, boy, I owe this misery. God in heaven requite in kind the wrongs that they have done to me. O son of, I too pity thee no less methinks than did those visitors. And I myself am witness that thy tale is true, for I have proved the villainy of the, and Odysseus too. What have those cursed thee? Art thou too stirred to anger by some wrong? Oh, that my wrath might vent itself in deeds. Mycenae then and Sparta both would learn that too is mother of brave sons. Well said, my son. But I would know the grounds of thy resentment, what the charge thou bring'st, why thou art here. I scarce know how, O son of, yet I'll tell the tale of wrongs I suffered on my coming at their hands. When by the doom of fate Achilles died, woe's me. No more, first tell me, is he dead, the son of Peleus? He is dead indeed, slain by no man but by a god. A shaft pierced him, by Phoebus sped, so runs the tale. Noble alike the slayer and the slain. I know not whether first, my son, to make inquiry of thy woes or weep for him. Thou hast enough of thine own pains, poor soul, without lamenting for another's woe. True, true indeed. So tell me once again, from the beginning, how they outraged thee. To fetch me in a gay-decked galley came Odysseus, and my father's foster sire too. They told me, if the tale was true or feigned I know not, that my father having fallen, no hand but mine could take the citadel. Thus urged, I did not dally or delay. Forthwith I sailed. Chiefly I longed to see my father, whom in life I had not seen before his burial, and in part, I own, the promise fair that I should take Troy town flattered my pride. Well, on the second day, with oars and breeze to speed us, we had reached hateful Name, and when I landed the whole host pressed to greet me, and they swore they saw Achilles come to life again. There lay my sire in death, and I, poor fool, when I had mourned for him a while, betook me to thee as my natural friends, claiming my sire's arms and what else was his. O, 'twas a sorry answer that they made. Child of Achilles, all that was thy sire's is thine, and welcome all except his arms, these to son have been assigned. I wept, I started to my feet in wrath, and bitterly I spake, O tyrannous men, how dare ye give these arms, my own by right, my leave unasked, to any man but me? Then said Odysseus, who was standing by, Yes, boy, and rightly are they given to me, who rescued both their master and his arms. 3 I boiled with rage, I hurled at him abuse the bitterest tongue could frame, I cursed the man who would defraud me of my rightful arms. He, though not choleric, challenged thus direct, stung to the quick by my retort, replied, Thou wast not with us, a malingerer thou. Take this for answer to thy blustering boasts, with these arms thou ne'er shalt sail. Thus flouted and abused I left the host, and now am sailing homewards, robbed by him, Odysseus, the base villain, basely born. Yet is he less to blame than those who rule, for like a commonwealth each host perforce is subject to authority, and all the lawless doings in the world spring from ill teaching. All my tale is told. But whoso hates as do I, may he find heaven, no less than me his friend. Strophe. O Mother Earth on the hills, Mother of Zeus himself, who all from thee draws his brimming rills, his golden sands. Mother, to thee I call, as once I called when, flushed with upstart pride, the fierce 'gainst my master raged. O Lady who on lions doth ride, their bloody ravening by thee assuaged, what time the tyrants to son the guerdon gave, those arms his sire had won. Good sirs, ye bring me as a talisman a common grief, a plaint attuned to mine. Full well I in this your tale thee and Odysseus. He, I warrant, would have a hand and lend his tongue to abet any conspiracy, any deep-laid plot, if he could compass some dishonest end. This is not wonderful, but was indeed the greater Ajax by to see and brook it. Ajax, my friend, was dead. Had he been living, they would not thus have robbed me and despoiled. What say'st thou, boy? Is he too dead and gone? Yea, he hath left the light. Alas, alas! But not the son of, nor the son named of, bred of Sisyphus, they die not who should never have been born. Not they indeed, I warrant, they live on, and in the Argive host are mighty men. And what of him, my good old friend and true, the Nestor, lives he not? For he oft by his wisdom checked their ill designs. He is not what he once was, since he lost his best son. Alas! Thou tell'st me of a double loss, the two men whom of all I least could spare. Ah me! What hope is there when two such men are taken, and Odysseus lives, whose death instead of theirs thou hadst by rights announced? A cunning gamester, but the cunningest, are full often thrown. But tell me, prithee, where was he the while, Patroclus, once thy father's bosom friend? Dead like the rest, for this in sooth is true, war never slays an evil man by choice, but still the good. In that I'll bear thee out. By the same token I would ask of one, a worthless wight, but shrewd and glib of tongue. Thou mind'st Odysseus, surely. Not of him I asked, but of one whose tongue was ever wagging most when wanted least, an empty babbler. Know'st thou if he lives? I saw him not, but heard he was alive. I thought as much, for evil never dies, fostered too well by gods who take delight, methinks, to turn back from the gates of hell all irredeemable rascality, but speed the righteous on their downward way. What should I deem of this, how justify the ways of heaven, finding heaven unjust? For my part, son of and sire, I shall take heed henceforward to behold Troy and the two from afar. Where villainy to goodness is preferred, and virtue withers, and the base holds sway, such company I never will frequent. Enough for me henceforth my native rocks, my island home in, there I'll bide. Now to the ships. Farewell, a fond farewell, O son of, may the gods thy heart's desire and heal thee of thy wound. Now we must leave thee, and prepare to sail whene'er the gods shall send a favoring breeze. So soon, my son, departing. 'Tis high time not here, but from the strand to watch the tide. Oh, in thy father, in thy mother's name, by all the sanctities of home, my son, leave me not, I adjure thee, here alone, abandoned to such ills as thou hast seen, and others worse whereof thou hast been told. Think of me as a stowaway. Well I know the irksomeness of such a passenger. Bear it. To true nobility of soul all shame is shameful. And it would smirch then to decline this task, my son, to do it, bring thee fame and glory, if he carry me alive to. Come, 'tis but a day's annoy. Take heart of courage, stow me where thou wilt, the hold, the bows, the stern, no matter where, wherever I shall least offend my mates. By Zeus, the god of suppliants, O consent, O hearken. At thy knees I fall, albeit a cripple maimed and helpless. Leave me not an outcast in a land where no man dwells, but either take me safe to thine own home, or to Euboea's realm, whence I may cross to 'tis not far, and the passes and the stream of Broad, and behold once more my father. Ah, these weary years I've feared he must be dead, for messages full oft I sent by those who passed my way, entreating that he would fetch me in his own ship home. But either he is dead, or like enough my envoys, 'tis the way of envoys, recked little of my concerns and hastened home. But now to thee, my messenger at once, and I appeal, save, pity me, seeing upon how slippery a place fortune for mortals and misfortune stand. Therefore the man that lives at ease should look for rocks ahead, and when he prospers most watch lest he suffer shipwreck unawares. Antistrophe. Pity, my chief. Pity, a tale of agonizing grief. Pray God no friend of mine may ever come to such an end. Oh, pity him! I know thou, prince, the grim, turned to his gain the villainy they plotted for his bane. Oh, take him home! With him let our brave vessel cleave the foam, there would he be, thus from the dread avengers shall we flee. See that your present kindliness be not a passing mood, lest after, when ye come in closer contact with his malady, ye falter and belie these promises. No, I shall ne'er be open to such charge. Shame indeed should I less zealous prove than thou to help a stranger in his need. So if you please, we'll sail, let him aboard our ship methinks will not refuse her aid. Only may heaven convey us from this shore safe to the haven whither we would sail. O gladdest day, O dearest, dearest friend, and ye, kind sailors, would that I could prove by acts my heartfelt gratitude. My son, let us be going, but before I go salute this homeless home, that thou mayst learn how hard my life, how great my hardihood. I think scarce any other man than I, had he but seen it once, could have endured, but I was schooled by hard necessity. Neoptolemus is about to enter the cave with him. Stay, for I see two men approach, the one a sailor from thy ship, and one a stranger. First let us learn their errand, then go in. Son of Achilles, finding I was moored in the same roadstead as thyself, by chance not of intent, I asked thy shipmate here, who with 2 other hands was left aboard on guard, to tell me where thou mightst be found. For I, the captain of a single craft, was on my way from Ilium homeward bound to, for its vintage famed, and learning that the crew I met ashore were all thy fellow voyagers, I thought it would be well, before I sailed away, to have a word with thee and earn my dues. I doubt thou not of thy concerns. What new designs the Argives have upon thee, designs, say I. Nay, rather, plots full hatched. I shall remember, sir, thy zealous care on my behalf. I am no graceless churl. But tell me more precisely, let me learn these strange designs against me of the Greeks. Old Phoenix has embarked with Theseus, sons on a war galley in pursuit of thee. To bring me back by force or of my will. I know not, I report but what I heard. Our Phoenix and his co-mates fired with zeal to pleasure the. Can this be? 'Tis no surmise of mine, they are on the way. How came it that Odysseus had no mind to sail on his own business? Was he afraid? He and the son of were engaged in quest of yet another, when I sailed. Another? Who this second man for whom Odysseus sailed himself? A certain one. Stay, who is this beside thee? Tell me first his name, and breathe it softly in my ear. This, sir, is of world fame. Stop not for further questioning. Remove. Fly with all speed thou mayest from this land. What says he, boy? What does he whisper thee, as though I were a piece of merchandise? I know not yet, but he shall tell his tale aloud, for thee and me and these to hear. Child of Achilles, charge me not to the host for blabbing secrets. I'm a poor man and greatly beholden to the generals, who paid me for my service handsomely. Thee are my enemies, and this man, because he hates them, is my dearest friend. And if indeed thou, as a friend, thou art bound to tell me all that thou hast learnt. Take heed, boy, what 'tis asking. I have heeded. Then thou must bear the consequence. Say on. Here then, the 2 I named, Odysseus and the son of Now, are hither bound to fetch this man, and they have sworn an oath to bring him by persuasion or by force. This by Odysseus plainly was professed in presence of the host, for he, more bold than his co-partner, staked his credit on it. But wherefore now, after the lapse of years, should they be concerned about a man they had abandoned and forgot? Was it compassion touched them, or the dread of retribution and the avenging gods? A matter that perchance to thee is strange I will unfold. There was a high-born seer, a son of Priam was his name. Him that vile wretch, what epithet can match his utter villainy, that sly old fox Odysseus, on a nightly prowl waylaid bound, and displayed him to the Argive host a goodly prize. Much else of grave import the prophet uttered, and he spake this word, Ne'er can ye take the citadel of Troy, till by persuasion ye have won him over, and brought him from the island where he bides. Hearing the prophet's word, Odysseus straight engaged himself to bring the man away and show him to the host. Willing, he said, I hope, but at the worst against his will. He staked his head on the venture. Anyone who chose might be his headsman if he failed. Thou hast heard all, my son. Be warned in time. Take heed for thine own safety and thy friend. Ah me! Did that arch-felon swear, indeed, to bring me by persuasion to the Greeks? As soon by prayers shall I be brought again from death, as was his father fore to the light. That's not for me to say. I must be going to join my ship. Farewell, and may the gods be with you both, and order all things well. What sayest thou, boy? That he, son, should think to wheedle me aboard his ship, and make a show of me to the Greek host. Is it not monstrous? Sooner would I heed my mortal foe, the snake that crippled me. But he no word, no practice is too vile for him to stick at. He will come for sure. Haste thee, my son, and put a many legs of ocean, Odysseus and our ship. Bestir ye, who in season best, his ended, has the sweetest rest. All in good time, soon as the headwind drops we will weigh anchor, now tease in our teeth. To those who fly from ill, all winds are fair. But this wind's contrary for them no less. For pirates know winds adverse, when there's chance of pillaging or robbery under arms. Well as thou willst will sail, but from the cave take anything thou or dost prize. My store is scant, but certain things I need. What that thou wilt not find on board my ship. A herb of wondrous virtue wherewithal I use to mollify and lull my wound. Then bring it with thee. What else wouldst thou take? Some shafts that may have dropped by accident, lest a chance come or find them, I would fetch. Is that then in thy hands the famous bow? This and none other is the famous bow. May I have leave to gaze upon it close, handle it, I adore it as a god. Right willingly, my son, and aught beside that I can do to profit thee, command. I have this longing, I confess, but if my longing seem not lawful, let it be. A pious scruple, but this privilege, my son, is thine by right, for thou alone hast given me to behold the light of day, and my aged sire and friends, for when I lay beneath my enemy's heel, 'twas thou me above their heads, shall be thine to handle and return fear not, and thou shalt boast that thou alone of mortals for thy worth hast handled it. 'Twas for a service done it came to me 5. 'Tis pleasant to have found and proved a friend, for him who good for good returns, I hold a friend more precious than unnumbered gold. Now go within. That will I and entreat thine escort, for my ailment craves thine aid. Strophe 1. I saw him not, yet fame affirms the tale of one who dared the bed of Zeus assail. Him to the wheel that never stays its round of torture, the great son of Bound. But save of him alone to me no sadder fate is known than of this saddest wight, or by report or sight, poor innocent who here to death art done. He robbed or none, I marvel how thus desolate, all forlorn, these long, long years of anguish he hath borne, hearing the breakers gride the cold stones. Antistrophe 1. Himself for neighbor to himself he groans, limping with crippled feet. He treads his weary beat, no comrade by to give him sigh for sigh, no friend in whose responsive ear to pour his woes the anguish of his festering sore, to quell the burning rage, the throbs assuage with simples gathered from the kindly soil. But the spasms he must crawl and moil to find the herb, a spell to lay the curse, like some weak infant parted from its nurse. Strophe 2. Not his to sow the seed or, on the largesse feed that boon earth showers on all the sons of men, happy, if now and then the bolt from his unerring bow can wing some living thing. Poor wretch who 10 long years athirst did pine, without one draught of soul-refreshing wine, but sought some stagnant pool his throat to cool. Antistrophe 2. Now hath he found a champion good and true, and by his woes ennobled shall renew his pristine fame. The tale of months complete, home shall he journey with our homing fleet. There on Marge, his ancient home, the haunt of Malian naiads, he shall roam, where the famed hero of the brazen shield, his full divinity in flames revealed, and in a fiery car ascending high o'er was translated to the sky. Be moving if it please thee. Why, what means this sudden silence, this amazedness? Ah me, ah me, what is it? A mere nothing, boy, go on. Thou thine old malady again. No, a mere twinge, I think 'tis passing now, O God. Why groan aloud and call on God to save me and deliver me, ah me. What ails thee? Wilt not tell me? Wilt not speak? That something troubles thee is very plain. My son, I am lost, undone. Impossible to hide it longer from you, lost, undone. It stabs me through and through and through. Ah me, ah me, ah me. For heaven's sake, if thou hast a sword at hand, draw it, my son, strike swiftly, at a stroke cut off this foot, no matter if it kill me, quick, quick, my son. What is this sudden fit that makes thee moan so and bewail thyself? Thou boy, what is it? Thou, nay, what ails thee? Thou not, ah me, ah me. The burden of thy pain is terrible, yea, terrible past words. Oh, pity me! What shall I do? Fear me not, leave me not, my ailment loves to play the truant, stray a while, and then come home again, belike tired with its holiday. Alas! Poor wretch, wretched indeed, and all thy suffering proved. Wilt line on me? Shall I take hold of thee? Nay, touch me not, I beg, but take this bow which thou didst crave to handle, and until the spasm that now disables me is gone, keep it and guard it well. For when the fit passes, a drowsiness comes over me, and sleep's the only medicine that gives ease. So let me slumber undisturbed, and if they come the while, I charge thee, boy, by heaven, let them not have it. Yield not up the bow, willing or nilling, or by force or fraud, lest thou shouldst prove a double murderer, and slay thyself and me thy suppliant. I will be vigilant, fear not, none shall have it but thou and I alone, so give it to me. Good luck attend it. Take it then, my son, but first propitiate the jealous God, lest it should prove to thee a bane, as erst to me and to its former lord it proved. Heaven grant this prayer to both of us, and grant a fair and prosperous voyage ere our destined course is set, and heaven ordains. Alas, my son, I fear thy prayers are vain, for once again upwelling from the wound, the black blood trickles auguring a relapse. Out upon thee, foot. Alack, what plague hast yet in store for me? Alack, it prowls, it stalks, ready to spring. Woe, now ye know my torture, leave me not. Ah me, ah me. Would God, oh, through thy breast this spasm might pass and hold thee in its grip. Woe's me and woe once more. Ye generals twain, Menelaus, Agamemnon, might this worm devour your vitals no less time than mine. O death, death, death! How is it that invoked day after day, thou canst not heed my call? Boy, noble boy, of thy nobility take me, and in yon fires, as famed, consume me, even as when myself I dared to do like service for the son of Zeus, and won for me the bow thou now. Speak, answer, why thus absent, O my son? My heart was heavy, musing on thy woes. Nay, be of better cheer, my son, this pain, as in its onset sudden, so departs. Only, I pray thee, leave me not alone. Take heart, we'll stay. Thou wilt. In sooth, I will. It were not meet to bind thee with an oath. I am bounden not to leave thee here. Thy hand upon it. Here's my hand in pledge. Then yonder, let me yonder whither then. Up higher art thou wandering once again. Wide at the firmament on high. Let me go. Whither? Let me go, I say. Thou shalt not. Touch me not, be my death. Well, I release thee. Thou art calmer now. Take me, O earth, a dying man, so near his end with sickness that he cannot stand. Methinks in no long time he'll be asleep, for see, his head sinks backward, and o'er all his body, look you, trickle beads of sweat, and from an artery in his wounded foot the black blood spurts. So let us leave him, friends, in peace and quiet till he fall asleep. Strophe. Sleep immune of cares, sleep that knows not cumber, breathe thy softest airs, prince of painless slumber. O'er his eyes alway let thy dream light play, healer come, we pray. My son, bethink thee how thou, and what next thou, not now the time to halt perplexed. Why longer here remained? Ever occasion n at the full flood brings gain. We might escape and steal his bow indeed, he hears us not, but little should we speed without the man. Himself he must be brought, so the god bade. He is the prize we sought. He crowns our triumph, and double shame falsely a fraud-won victory to claim. Antistrophe. Far things with heaven lie, look thou to what is near. And when thou reply, low breathe it in my ear, sleepless the sick man's sleep, quick-eared to catch each sound, his eyes, though closed, yet keep sharp watch around. Wherefore explore in stealth, my son, how what thou dost may best be done. If thy plan be still the same, what it is I need not name, plain to one who looks before are his troubles vast and sore. The breeze sets fair, my son, and there outstretched he lies as one who hath nor ears nor eyes. How good to sleep the sun! Of hand or foot no motion has he, none more than the dead who in earth's bosom rest. Then look, my son, look that thou utterest sane counsels. If a plain man might advise thy wisdom, the discreetest way is best. Silence and keep your wits. His eyes begin to open, and he raises now his head. Oh, sweet to wake to the broad day and find, what least I hoped, my kindly guardians by. For this, my son, I never had presumed to hope, that thou wouldst thus compassionately wait to attend my woes and minister. Though those brave captains never showed courage to bear them patiently. But thou by nature noble as by birth, my son, mad's light of all the sores to eye and ear, and nostrils that my malady inflicts. But now at last, seem, a lull has come, a respite and oblivion of my ills. Raise me thyself, boy, set me on my feet that, when the attack has wholly spent itself, we may aboard and instantly set sail. Right glad am I to see thee breathing still, alive, beyond all hope, and freed from pain, for to appearance thou didst bear the seal and signature of death. Now raise thyself, or if these shall carry thee, such service will they readily perform, since thou and I alike are thus resolved. I thank thee, son, and if it thee, raise me thyself, and spare thy men this task, lest they be sickened with my fetidness before the time. They'll have enough to bear with me for messmate when we are aboard. So be it now, stand up, lay hold of me. Fear not, long use and want has taught me how. Ye gods! What now remains for me to do? What is it, my son, what mean these whirling words? I know not how to speak. What can perplex thee? Say not so, my son. Too deep involved, I cannot otherwise. What? The offensiveness of my complaint will stay thee now from taking me aboard. All is offensive when a man is false to his true self, and knowing right does wrong. But thou dost not in word or deed to shame thy birth in succoring a worthy man. I shall be proved a rogue, this tortures me. Not in thy deeds, thy words do give me pause. God help me now. Must I appear twice base, hide what I should not, and my shame reveal? The youth, if I misjudge him not, intends to play me false and leave me stranded here. Live they. Not so, but what will irk thee more, convey thee hence. 'Tis this that tortures me. Thy words are dark, I cannot catch their drift. I will be plain and round with thee. To Troy thou, to thee and the host. Alas, what say'st thou? Murmur not, but hear me. Hear me, quoth he. What wilt thou do with me? First from this misery rescue thee, and then, with thee to aid me, ravage Ilium. Wilt thou indeed do this? Necessity leaves me no choice, so take it not amiss. Me miserable! I am undone, betrayed. How hast thou used me, sir? I charge thee straight, give back my bow. That cannot be, for I by policy and duty both am bound to obey my chiefs. Thou fire, thou utter monster, masterpiece of knavery, how hast thou served me, cheated me, abused? Art not ashamed to look on me, thou wretch, thy suppliant thy? Robbing me of this my bow, thou me of life. Restore it, I beseech thee, O my son, O, and thou me, give me back my bow, rob me not, by thy gods I pray, of life. Ah me! He turns away, he will not speak, his silence says he will not give it back. Ye creeks, ye promontories, dens and lairs of mountain beasts, ye cliffs precipitous, to you none else will heed me, I appeal, on you, familiars of my woes, I call here what I suffer from Achilles' son. He swore to bring me home again, and now to Troy he takes me. On his plighted troth I gave, he keeps my bow, the sacred bow that erst to Zeus-born Heracles belonged, to flout it for the Argive host as his. he takes me hence his prisoner, as if his arm had captured some great warrior, and sees not he is slaying a dead man, a shade, a wraith, an unsubstantial ghost, for in my strength he had not end me, no, nor as I am disabled, save by guile. But now, entrapped, ah, whither shall I turn? Have pity, give me back my bow. Be once again thy true self, even now. What answer? None. Oh, woe is me, I am lost. O cave with double mouth, to thee I turn, stripped of my arms and lacking means of life, here shall I wither in this lonely cell. No bird of air, no beast of the upland wold yon bough shall slay, but dying I shall make a feast for those who fed me when alive, a quarry for the creatures I pursued, my blood for their blood shed. And this I owe to one who seemed a child in innocence. My curse upon thee, nay, I will forbear, till first I hear whether thou wilt repent or not, if no, die blasted by my curse. What shall we do, prince? 'Tis for thee to say whether we sail or hearken to his prayer. My heart is strangely wrought, and from the first I have been moved with pity for the man. In heaven's name show mercy, let not men brand thee as my betrayer, O my son. What shall I do? Would I had never left, to fall into this desperate plight. Thou art not base, but coming here wast schooled to play the rogue by villains, leave that part to others framed by nature to be rogues. Sail hence, but ere thou sail give back my arms. What shall we do, friends? Wretch, what art thou at? Back with thee, Sarah. Give the bow to me. Ah, who is here? Is that Odysseus' voice? Odysseus as thou. Here am I, oh, I am sold, betrayed. So it was he who trapped me and bereft me of my arms. I and no other. I avow 'twas I give back my bow, son, give it. That he shall not, e'en if he would, and what is more, thou with it must go, or these shall drag thee hence by force. Thou brazen villain, shall thy knaves drag me by force? Yea, if te not consent. O land, O all subduing fires lit by Hephaestus 6, will ye suffer it, that yonder man should hail me from your realm? 'Tis Zeus, I tell thee, Zeus who rules this land, Zeus thus ordains, I am his minister. O monstrous fiend, what pleas thou canst invent. Gods thou, and wouldst make them liars. Nay, they are true. But thou must march with us. Never. But I say yes, consent thou must. Oh, I was born to sorrow, so it seems, no free man, but a slave my sire begot. Nay, but a peer of paladins, ordained to storm proud Troy and lay it in the dust. Never, not even in my utmost need, whilst under me I feel this steep of rock. What wouldst thou do? Leap from the crags above, and dash my brains out on the crags below. Lay hold of him, seize either arm, prevent him. O hands, how ill ye fare, made prisoners by that man, all for lack of my good bow. Thou very churl, corrupt in heart and soul, how hast thou circumvented me again, making this stranger boy thy stalking horse, fit mate for me, too good for thine ally, thy tool who merely did as he was bidden, and even now is plainly penitent both for his error and the wrong to me. But thou, like some vile prompter in the dark, wast ever by to give the cue, and though unapt, and he learnt thy villainy. And now thou think'st to bind me hand and foot, monster, and take me from this shore whereon thou erst didst cast me, friendless, homeless, lorn. A living corpse. I curse thee, when have I not cursed thee these long years? But since the gods grant nothing sweet to me, thou livest on exultant, and to me, with endless woes encompassed, life itself is misery, mocked as I am by thee and the 2 sons of Atreus, whose abettor now thou art. Thou of constraint, and by a stratagem wert forced to join their flag and sail with them 7, I with my 7 ships volunteered, and yet, O miserable me! I was cast forth and scorned by them, thou say'st, they say by thee. And now why seize, why hail me to your ships, me who am not, dead long ago to you? How can I serve you? Heaven-abhorred wretch! Am I not lame and noisome now as then? How will ye render, if I sail with you, burnt sacrifices and drink offerings? That was the pretext when ye cast me forth. My curse upon you for your wrongs to me, and, if the gods are just, ye shall be cursed. And they are just, I know it, never else would ye have sailed for such a wretch as I, but that they pricked your heart to think of me. My native land, ye ever-watchful gods, your vengeance, vengeance sure though it tarry long, fall on them all, if aught you pity me, and I am piteous. Yet could I behold their ruin, I should half forget my plague. His mood is bitter, bitter his reply to thee, Odysseus, suffering tames him not. Much could I answer, did the time permit, one word must now suffice. I am a man who can adapt his to the hour. When justice and plain dealing are required, you will not find a man more scrupulous. My one concern is ever to prevail, save in thy case, to the right willingly I will give way. To sailors, unhand him, let him go. He may stay here. We have no need of thee having thy bow, for will be there a master archer, and myself who boast that I can draw a bow with hand as firm, and point it with as true an eye as thine. What use for thee then? Lemnos shall be thine. Sole monarch hail. Go, pace thy bounds at peace, we live thee. This thy prize methinks will earn for me, though that were rightly thine. Unhappy wretch, what can I do? Shalt thou strut like a popinjay in arms of mine? Bandy no more words, I am going now. Son of Achilles, wilt thou leave me thus, thou too in silence, deaf to my appeal? To Neoptolemus, away, and look not on him, lest thou mar our stroke of fortune by thy quixotry. To Chorus, ye also friends, will ye abandon me, and show no pity for my sad estate? This stripling is our captain, and whate'er he says, we say the same, his word is law. I know I shall be twitted by my chief as weak and tender-hearted, but what odds? If our friend wills it, tarry here until our crew have made all tight and yare, and we have offered prayers as fitting. He the while perchance may come to a better mind and melt. So we will hasten forward, he and I and ye, make haste to follow when we call. Exeunt Odysseus and Neoptolemus. Strophe 1. O rock, my cell now hot, now icy chill, how long with thee it was my lot to dwell to thee till death I shall be constant still. Tell me, sad lodging, haunted by my pain, how shall I day by day my life sustain? Ye timorous doves whose flight in the air reared, now where ye will unharmed alight, no shafts of mine henceforward need ye dread. Tease thou hast willed it thus, infatuate, thou art the author of thy sad estate, nor to some higher force canst thou assign thy woes, but when free choice was thine, the good thou didst reject, the worse elect. Antistrophe 1. Ah, wretched, wretched then am I, consumed with utter misery, doomed for all time to linger on. Without one friend, one comrade, one to aid me till I die. No more my arrows fleet shall win my daily meat, poor unsuspecting fool, a base intriguer's tool, by his forged legend caught. Wretch who my ruin wrought, would I might see him pine long years like me in agony like mine. By destiny, 'twas sent. To treachery my hand was never lent, point not at me thy baleful curse, for fain thy friend as heretofore I would remain. Strophe 2. Ah me! He's sitting now upon the sea sands, and laughs at me, I trow my bow is in his hands, the bow that was my life, the bow that never Lord save me did know. My bow, my matchless bow of you, if thou canst feel, how must thou grieve, thus wrested from thy master true, constrained his loving hands to leave, thy master who, through Hellas famed, the friend of Heracles was named. Now art thou handled by a knave, past master in each cunning art, must do his bidding, as a slave in all his misdeeds take thy part. And aid the unrelenting foe, the source and spring of all my woe. A man should I his rightful cause maintain, but from malign and venomous taunts refrain, and he but serves the common interest, speaks for the host, obeying their behest. Antistrophe 2. Ye feathered tribes, my prey, ye bright-eyed beasts who roam the hills, start not away scared from the hunter's home. Stray where ye will, secure, unharmed, why shun a helpless man unarmed? Gone is the mighty bow, flock hither without dread, why should ye fear a foe so weak, so ill bestead? Draw near your gluttonous mouths to fill, mangle my carrion flesh at will. Here shall I waste away, soon will ye eye me dead, who can survive one day by airs of heaven fed. Of all that earth affords each son, herb, root, and fruit, possessing none. If thou, a well-wishing friend, draw near and to his kindly rule attend. Think well, from this intolerable bane that thou dost feed, and aggravate thy pain, with thee it rests deliverance to gain. Oh, why recall my ancient grief once more, kindest of all who e'er have touched this shore? Why twice undo a wretch undone before? What meanest thou? I mean that thou wast fain to take me to the Troy I hate again. 'Tis for thy good. Oh, leave me then, begone. Thanks for that word. We will be off anon back to the ship, and each man to his oar. Oh, leave me not, for God's sake, I implore. Calm thyself. Stay, oh stay. Why should we wait? Oh, woe is me. Out on my fate, my fate. Accursed foot, what shall I make of thee? I am undone. O friends, come back to me. What wouldst thou? First thou bidst us go, and then in the same breath thou us remain. O be not wrath if one distraught with pain blurts out discordant words beside the mark. Come then, unhappy man, with us embark. Never, no never, though the King of Heaven should threat to blast me with his fiery levin. No, perish rather Ilium, perish all the Achaean host that batter at its wall, hard hearts who cast me forth as halt and maim. From you, my friends, one parting boon I claim. What wouldst thou ask? An axe, a spear, a brand, no matter what the weapon first to hand. Wherefore? What deed of violence wouldst thou do? Hack mangles limb by limb my body hew, my thoughts are bloody. Wherefore? I would go to seek my father. In what land? Below, for I shall find him nowhere on this earth. My native land, fair land that gave me birth, might I but see thee. Wherefore did I roam, and leave the sacred stream that guards my home? To help the Greeks those stormy seas I crossed, my mortal foes, by them undone, lost, lost. I should have left thee long ago, and now be near my ship, but that I saw Odysseus advancing towards us and Achilles' son. Wilt thou not tell me why thou back in such hot haste, and on what errand bound? I come to expiate all former wrongs. A strange reply. What wrong didst thou commit? When in obedience to the host and the prithee, what didst thou that beseemed thee not? I snared a man by base deceit and guile. What man? Thou hast not something rash in hand. Not rash, but to the son of I what wilt thou do? My soul forebode some ill. From whom I took the bow, to him again great Zeus. What meanest thou? Not give it back. Yes, for I got it basely, shamefully. In heaven's name, say'st thou this to mock at me? If it be mockery to speak the truth. What now? What meanest thou, Achilles' son? Must I repeat the same words twice and thrice? Far better had I never heard them once. Rest well assured I have nothing more to add. There is, I tell thee, one to stay thy hand. Who, prithee? Who to stay me or prevent? The whole Achaean host, and I for one. Thy words lack wisdom, though thou lackst not wits. Unwisdom marks thy words and actions both. If just, 'tis better than unjust and wise. Can it be justice to give back the prize won by my policy? Shameful was my fault, and I will try to make amends for it. Hast thou no terror of the Achaean host? A bugbear this with justice on my side. Justice must yield if I resort to force. Not even thou canst force me gainst my will. Then not with Trojans must we war, but thee. So be it, if it must be. Seized my hand upon my sword hilt. Me too shalt thou see ready to follow suit and keen to draw. Well, I will leave thee, but I shall report to the whole army. They shall punish thee. A wise discretion. Keep this prudent mind, so mayest thou henceforth with a whole skin live. Exit Odysseus. Ho, son of, leave the shelter of thy rocky home, come forth. What means this hubbub at my cave again? Why summon me? What would ye with me, sirs? Ho, I mislike the look of it. Are ye come as heralds of new woes to crown the old? Take heart and listen to the news I bring. I am afraid. Thou once before I trusted thy fair words, and ill I sped. May not a man repent him? Such thou wast no less fair-spoken, when thou wert about to steal my bow, black treachery in thy heart. But now another man, who fain would learn whether thou still to stay here, or wilt embark with us. Stop, say no more. All that thou will be wasted breaths. Art resolute, more resolute than words can tell. Well, I would gladly have persuaded thee by argument, but if thou wilt not heed, why I have done. Thou needs must speak in vain. How canst thou win me o'er to friendliness, thou who didst rob me of my life by fraud, and then dost come to counsel me? Base son of noblest sire. Perdition on you all, the first, Odysseus then and thee. Forbear thy curses. Take from me thy bow. What say'st thou? Am I tricked a second time? No, by the name of Zeus most high, I swear it. O comfortable words, if they be true. The deed shall follow to attest this truth. Reach hither thy right hand and take thy bow. Hold it. I protest for heaven, and in the name of thee and the host forbid it. Who spake, my son, was that Odysseus' voice I heard. None other, and he's hard at hand, ready to take thee back to Troy by force, whether it please Achilles' son or no. But at thy peril, if this shaft flies straight. Hold, hold. In heaven's name let not fly thy shaft. Let go my hand in heaven's name, dearest son. I will not. Why, oh, why didst thou prevent me from slaying with my bow the man I hate? That were for thee and me. Exit Odysseus. Well, of one thing thou mayst be sure, the chiefs, those lying heralds of the Achaean host, are brave in words and cowards in the fight. So be it. The bow is thine again, and now thou hast no grief or quarrel against me. None, my brave boy, for thou hast proved this day thy race and lineage, not of Sisyphus, but of Achilles, noblest once of men in life, and now the noblest of the dead. Sweet to my ears the praises of my sire and of myself, but now I crave of thee a boon. What fates the gods allot to men they needs must bear, but whoso hug their griefs, as thou dost, who can pity or condone such self-tormentors? Thou inexorable wilt tolerate no counsel, him who would admonish thee in love a foe, yet will I speak the truth, so help me Zeus. Write on the table of thy memory these words. Thy sore plague is a heaven-sent doom, with foot profane in's roofless shrine thou didst insult her tutelary snake. For this sin wast thou stricken, and no relief canst win from thy affliction, whilst the sun shall run from east to west his daily course, before of thy free will thou comest to Troy. There shalt thou find our famed, and healed by them, with thy bow's aid and mine, shalt take and sack the towers of Ilium. Thou, how I know all this? Attend, we have a Trojan prisoner, chiefest of seers, who plainly all I have told thee, and revealed besides that, ere this summer passes, Troy must fall, his life the forfeit if his word proved false. Now that thou know'st this, yield with a good grace. How fair a vision to be singled out as bravest of the host, and first made whole by healing hands, as conqueror of Troy, woe city, win undying fame. O hateful life that keep'st me lingering on in this vile world, and wilt not let me join the world of shades. Ah me! What can I do? How turn a deaf ear to the kindly words of one who counsels well and seeks my good? Shall I then yield? How, having yielded, face the public gaze? Will not all turn from me? Ye eyes, so long the witness of my wrongs, how will ye brook to see me once again consorting with my torturers, the sons of Atreus and Odysseus, the arch-fiend? 'Tis not resentment for the past that stings, but a prevision of the ills to come, for when a mind is warped it takes the ply, and evildoers will be evil still. Thee too, my son, I marvel much at thee, never shouldst thou have gone thyself to Troy, nor sought to bring me thither. How couldst thou, when they had robbed thee of thy father's mead, and flouted the eight, how canst thou after that fight at their side thyself, or bid me fight? Not so, my son, but do as thou hast sworn, convey me home, thyself imbibe, leave those ill-doers to their evil doom. Thus shalt thou win a double thanks from me and from my sire, nor will men say of thee, abetting base men he himself is base. Thy words are reasonable, nathless I would have thee trust my promise and the gods, and confidently sail with me thy friend. What? To the plains of Troy, to him I loathe, the son of Atreus, with this foot. Nay, but to kind physicians who will treat thy ulcered limb and heal thee of thy hurt. O wondrous weird! What means this mystery? One fraught with happy issue for us both. Hast thou no fear of heaven, thus to speak? Why should a man feel fear who helps his friends? Help for the sons of Atreus or for me? For thee, as these my words attest, thy friend. A friend when thou wouldst hand me to my foes. O let not suffering make thee truculent. I know thou wouldst unto me pleading thus. Not I but thou thyself who wilt not learn. Do I not know the cast me forth? 'Tis true, but now they would deliver thee. Not with my will, if first I must to Troy. What must I do, if all persuasion fails to make thee budge an inch? Easier to cease from words and leave thee here to live, as thou hast lived, a hopeless castaway. Well, let me dream my weird, but thou, my son, perform the promise made with clasp of hands, take me straight home and talk no more of Troy. My cup of lamentations I have drained. As thou wilt then, let us forward. Nobly spoken, let us go. Forward. Plant thy footsteps firmly. To my utmost will I so. But the wrath of the Achaeans will pursue me. Never care. What if they lay waste my borders? Never fear, I shall be there. What assistance canst thou render? Heracles his mighty bow says thou will prevent their landing. Kiss the earth and let us go. Go not yet till thou hast heard, son of first my word, Heracles to thee appears, his the voice that thrills thine ears. 'Tis for thy sake I have come, leaving my Olympian home. Mandate from high Zeus I bring to forbid thy journeying, hear the will of heaven's king. But first I'll mind thee of my own career, how having hugely and endured, I won immortal glory as thou. Know that thy fortune like to mine shall be, through suffering to glorify thy life. Go with yon man to Ilium. There first thou shalt be of thy grievous sword then, chosen as the champion of the host, with these my arrows thou shalt pierce to the heart Paris, the guilty cause of all that woe. Troy shalt thou sack, and winning from the host the meed of bravest, carry home rich spoils to glad old in the halls. But of the spoils, whate'er the host assigns thee, bring to my pyre as tribute to my bow. A tithe. I have a message too for thee. Son of Achilles, thou without his aid canst not take Troy, nor he apart from thine, but like two lions together on the prowl. Either the other guards. To cure thy wounds, Asclepius the healer will I send to, for a second time Troy towers must fall before my shafts. Only take heed, in laying waste the land to reverence its gods, all else by Zeus my sire is less regarded. Piety can never die, it lives on earth and blossoms in the grave. Voice for which I long have yearned, form long visioned, now discerned. Thee I cannot disobey. I too obey. Then to work. No time to spare, seize the hour, the wind sets fair. Yet ere I part I fain would bid farewell. Home of my vigils, rocky cell, nymphs of the streams and grass-fringed shore, caves where the deep-voiced breakers roar, when through the cavern's open mouth, borne on the wings of the wild south, e'en to my dwelling's inmost lair, the rain and spray oft drenched my hair, and oft responsive to my grown mount made his moan, O Lycian fount, O limpid well, I thought with you all time to dwell, and now I take my last farewell. Sea-girt Lemnos, hear my prayer, bid thy guest a voyage fair, speed him to the land where he, born by mighty destiny, and the god at whose decree all was ordered, fain would be. Let us to the sea nymphs pray to waft us on our Troyward way. Mariners, attend my call, let us voyage, one and all. By Sophocles. Translated by Francis. May you do good and not evil. May you find forgiveness for yourself and forgive others. May you share freely, never taking more than you give. Copyright pages exist to tell you that you can't do something. Unlike them, this page exists to tell you that the writing and artwork in this are believed to be in the United States public domain. That is, they are believed to be free of copyright restrictions in the United States. The United States public domain represents our collective cultural heritage, and items in it are free for anyone in the United States to do almost anything at all with, without having to get permission. Copyright laws are different all over the world, and the source text or artwork in this may still be copyrighted in other countries. If you're not located in the United States, you must check your local laws before using this. Standard makes no representations regarding the copyright status of the source text or artwork in this in any country other than the United States. Non-authorship activities performed on items that are in the public domain's so-called sweat of the brow work don't create a new copyright. That means that nobody can claim a new copyright on an item that is in the public domain for, among other things, work like digitization, markup, or typography. Regardless, the contributors to this release their contributions under the terms in the CC01 Universal Public Domain Dedication, thus dedicating to the worldwide public domain all of the work they've done on this, including but not limited to metadata, the imprint, colophon, this, and any changes or enhancements to, or markup on the original text and artwork. This dedication doesn't change the copyright status of the source text or artwork. We make this dedication in the interest of enriching our global cultural heritage, to promote free and culture around the world, and to give back to the unrestricted culture that has given all of us so much.